Most people have heard of chlamydia and know that it is a common sexually transmitted disease. But what is this chlamydia we hear so much about? Stick around to find out. Bacteria are small single-celled organisms that cannot be seen without the use of a microscope. Viruses are smaller, simpler organisms. Although both of these germs can cause a variety of diseases, there are fundamental differences between them. Bacteria are organisms that have all the required enzymes to reproduce and survive with no need for the host. Viruses, on the other hand, cannot reproduce without the host cell machinery. Bacterial cells are complex enough to have all the functions they need to break down substances such as sugars and organic matter for energy, independent of their host cells. Viruses are a collection of non-living structures that depend on the host cell for the generation of new virions. Viruses have a genetic material that is wrapped in a protein covering called a capsid. Without the host cell, they cannot generate the new proteins and building materials they need to make copies of themselves. In order to hijack the machinery of the cell to make new viral copies, viruses must make their way into the cell where they can present their genetic material and use the functions of the cell to make the structures they need. Bacteria do not need to do this. They can multiply by splitting themselves in two repeatedly, which they can do without having to force their way into the cell to gain access to the machinery of the cell. They can do this because they have all the genetic material they need that enables them to generate the energy and to make the proteins and other building materials they need to replicate. The chlamydia has fewer genes than other bacteria and has features of both bacteria and viruses. Like bacteria, chlamydia have enough genetic material that enables them to make some of the energy and structural material they need. But they must depend on the host cell to produce the rest of the structural material and energy used in replication. Bacteria can be divided into two groups: extracellular bacteria, which live outside of the cell and exist as free-living organisms, and intracellular bacteria, which infect and reproduce inside the cell. Some bacteria can reproduce either inside or outside of the host cell. The chlamydia, like viruses, must force its way into the cell in order to have access to the nutrients and building materials it needs for replication and survival. Because of that, it is called an obligate intracellular parasite. Although chlamydia must replicate inside of the host cell, they are living single-celled organisms with the genetic material that encodes for enzymes that enable them to make a portion of the energy and building materials they need to replicate. They are therefore classified as bacteria. Chlamydia are responsible for a wide range of diseases. They can infect the lung and cause pneumonia, and have been linked to asthma, blockage of the arteries, and arthritis. The chlamydia that infects the eye is the leading cause of acquired blindness in the developing world, and the chlamydia that infects the genital tract is the leading cause of bacterial sexually transmitted diseases. I hope you found this video useful and it sheds some light on the nature of chlamydia. If you found the video useful, like and subscribe to the channel and share the video with friends and family. And until we meet again, thanks for watching.